We have just went through moving our offices around. For the longest, the only people that were really not in our office on a full-time basis was our maintenance guys. We now have an office in the same building for our accounting and administrative staff that is catty corner across the building from our office that the general public walks into. That brings me to Teams. We are currently using Teams to communicate with each other. That is Microsoft Teams. Um, the program is really easy to use. Everybody has it loaded on their computer. It gives you the capability to chat between people here in the office and to video call or call from your computer. I personally like the chat feature. I leave Teams up all day long. If somebody sends me a message, it pops up on my screen. Hey, you've got a notification, Teams notification on what's going on. John likes the call feature. He likes to video call people. I don't know why, but he does. So, with us sharing offices, a lot of us share a combined office with someone else. It's a good idea that we have a set of headphones at our desk that we can plug into our computer. So everybody else does not have to hear the conversation that someone is having on Teams if they're doing a video call. Also, it's very important that you have a set of headphones too if you're a community manager, that you might be on a Zoom call with your board of directors or whatever. If somebody else is in the office with you, then you can put your headphones in. So first of all, they don't hear everybody else in the background, but then everybody else in the background is not having to hear your meeting. But Teams is a good program. And let me explain to you how we are using Teams. We have our phone system set up so that when someone calls our main number, they get an option to list several different extensions. The extensions go to each individual's cell phone. So if someone selects extension 2 for John, it will ring on his cell phone during the day. These extensions only work from 9 to 5. We have an after hours emergency number that goes through after we close for the evening. That does not go to each individual community manager's cell phone after 5 o'clock. But they also have the option to select one for the office if they need to speak to somebody in the office. That would typically be our accounts receivable department, our accounts payable department, somebody that has questions about resales. Those types of things should be what people select for option 1. However, not everybody pays real close instructions to what they need to do. And so a lot of times when someone selects option 1, the phone rings here in our office. It doesn't ring until somebody selects option 1. But when they select option 1, it rings in the office. Then that call gets directed to whoever it needs to go to. So if someone calls and they need to talk to somebody about their account, the front desk person doesn't sit there and get into some long ordeal conversation about a homeowner's account. They would then direct that call to someone in accounts receivable. If someone calls and it's a vendor and they're wondering where their payment is, that call would get directed to accounts payable. Someone has a question about resales, that goes to the person that does our resale certificates. Sometimes we get owners that call and they want to talk to a community manager. They've selected option 1, but really they probably should have selected whatever the community manager's extension is. We're not going to harass them. We might, if we know that the community manager is in the office, we will send them a Teams message that says, please pick up line 1. A homeowner at XYZ Association is wanting to talk to you about this. Maybe they got a violation letter and they're wanting to discuss their violation, whatever it may be. But it's just a matter of typing a message. that community manager would then respond back with, okay, got it. So that the front desk person knows that they're fixing to pick up line one and everything's taken care of and they can move forward. If the community manager is sitting in the office, but they do not respond, or maybe they step down the hall to go to the restroom, whatever, they don't respond within just a few minutes of, okay, I'm getting the call or I've got it, then the front desk person would then teams somebody else that shares an office with them. The only person that does not share an office currently is John. So it would be anybody else that's in that office. It's, hey, is so-and-so at their desk? I have a phone call for them. If they say no, they step down the hall, or no, they're not available right now. Maybe they left for lunch and didn't communicate that well or whatever. Then that tells the front desk person, okay, I need to make sure I take a message on this call and move it forward that way. All that communication back and forth is done on Teams. We don't want our receptionist to have to get up and walk down to somebody's office to see where they're at or to tell them they have a phone call. That is not our intent. We want to be as efficient as possible. And since a lot of those phone calls even go to people down the hall in the building, several offices away, that Teams feature still works. So they can let them know, hey, you've got a phone call, pick up line one. Or if someone comes into the office and they want to talk to a particular person, the front desk person then teams them to let them know that somebody is up front sitting in the conference room that would like to speak with them. They can then respond back with whether they have the capability to sit there and meet with that person at that point in time, or if that person didn't schedule an appointment, they're going to have to schedule one, whatever that might be. But all that communication then goes through the computer and through the software. The person in the office is not overhearing all of our, I don't have time to talk with them, or they didn't make an appointment, or I still have to get some other stuff together and I don't have time to talk to them. That is all done on Teams. So it shows up at the front desk person's computer. So you have to understand, when I tell you to use Teams, I'm telling you to use Teams for a reason. We want to be as professional as we can be, but we also don't want our front desk person who greets all of our guests to constantly have to get up and go find somebody. So we use Teams to communicate. Also, there's a lot of things within our property management software, Vanica, that maybe has to be stepped by somebody else after we've done something. If you Teams them, chat with them on a message, they can go ahead and get that done and get it moved forward. If you don't tell somebody you have something that needs to be moved right away, so that maybe a property's water is being cut off or whatever, and that needs to be reviewed before your announcement can go out to that particular property, then that message may sit in there for a day or two before somebody gets to it. So Teams is the way to communicate, hey, I need help. Whether it's, hey, you have a phone call, or hey, you've got somebody that's come into the office to meet with you, or hey, I have this I'm trying to get done. Can you move it forward? Instead of people constantly walking and up down the hallway or yelling at each other in between offices. That is not the image that we want to portray to people that walk in the door. So if you haven't played with Teams, make sure you open it up every morning, and you can chat with me as many times as you want during the day to test to make sure it's going correctly. But we do want to use Teams to communicate back and forth.